Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we have a little bit of a rant type video about some League of Legends controversy that's going on after the most recent day of the World Group Stage, where TSM ended up finishing 0-6. They were the first #1 seed to ever go 0-6 in one of their groups. Again, they looked pretty terrible in a lot of their games. Even in some of the games where they looked close, they found a way to lose, they found a way to throw. They did play overall pretty terrible, but there's a ton of community reactions, a ton of things going on, and one of the things I want to talk about in this video today is this tweet from Odoamne LOL that has gotten a lot of people talking. Odoamne is the top laner for Schalke 04 in Europe in the LEC. He has been a very good player, a very good top laner in Europe for a long time now. He's a player that I've respected and a player that I really do like and for the most part have rooted for, but he lost a lot of my respect today and a lot of respect of a ton of people when he tweeted out after one of TSM's games, bro, where the fuck is your competitive drive if you are giggling after 0-5? What the fuck? Now, I was watching a lot of the world stuff. It's at a terrible time, so it's kind of hard to stay up and stay focused and everything. I didn't actually see exactly the scene that he's talking about, but obviously by reading the tweet, if I had to guess, I'm assuming it's about Broken Blade or Speaka. My guess would be Speaka, but I could really see it being either one of them. They're both these young guys with just bright personalities. They're always laughing. They're always joking. And this is just an absolutely terrible tweet. Again, one of the main reasons is he's talking about after going 0-5. Once TSM lost their first game today and they finished 0-4, there was nothing left to play for. Once they were 0-4, they were mathematically eliminated. They could not go on in their groups. So you're definitely just going to lose a little bit of the competitive edge, competitive spirit there. Going into that first game of the day, I'm sure they were extremely focused, extremely hyped up, ready to go. But once they lost, they have two ultimately meaningless games. And after that first loss, I'm sure that was very tough to deal with. I'm sure they were all very mad, upset, frustrated, stressed out, whatever. But then, you know, at some point you have to take a deep breath and realize what's going on. Now you just have two more games where you're trying to learn, where you're trying to grow, where you're trying to just play and finish out strong. But you can't keep that same madness or anger or stress or sadness, whatever going on for the rest of the day. If you're giggling by the, you know, the fifth game that you've lost, I don't think it really matters that much anymore, because one, at some point you have to go on with your life, at some point you have to go on with your day, and at some point you have to understand the situation that you're in. There's no longer anything to play for. Yes, you do want to take this as an awesome opportunity to practice against some of the best players in the world, and yes, you want to try and get better and grow as a player and as a team, but also at some point you're just a human being playing a video game there. You can no longer move on in this tournament. Yeah, I mean, you're going to laugh and giggle at some point in your day. Your life is going to go on, your day is going to go on, and that doesn't mean you're not a competitor. That doesn't mean you have no drive. This is such a weird, terrible take. You know, losing in something, it should make you mad, it should make you upset at whatever, and that should drive you to continue to practice and perform and get better, and you should want to win super badly. But once you've lost, that doesn't have to ruin your days. It doesn't have to ruin your weeks. These are people with complete lives outside of League of Legends, complete life. You know, they're playing a game with their friends. They're in China with their friends. They're talking. There's going to be some laughing, there's going to be some giggling, and that's just enjoying life. That's just doing things right, in my opinion. If you were just mad and sad and letting this continue to ruin your days and stuff, that just doesn't even make sense. These are young kids, you know, they're 18, 19, 20 years old at an international stage for their first time, and yes, it didn't go well, and they didn't perform very well, and they did bad, but again, to be mad at them for giggling, laughing, once they've already been knocked out, once the games don't even matter anymore. Such a weird take, and a lot of people did come to their defense. Amazing actually tweeted out, I don't know about that one. Too many things to consider. Coping mechanisms are different, which I completely agree with. And they may internalize a lot while trying to be strong for their teammates. And wouldn't really judge their characters based off a few seconds we see them on camera. Yeah, I think it is absolutely ridiculous. Everyone at the top level of competition, this team just won the NALCS. Everyone at the top level of competition is choosing to spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day at this video game because they want so badly. One, they're getting paid and it's their career, but two, they want so badly to be the best and to get better and perform and make their region proud and make their teammates proud and make their organization proud and all this stuff. To say that they don't have competitive drive or whatever is just absolutely ridiculous. Another hilarious part coming from all this is that Odoamne played on Schalke, who started out the year 0-8, 0-9, whatever you want to call it. And yes, they ended up making a little miracle run, coming back, and they almost qualified in the playoffs. They finished 5th in the LEC. They lost out to Mad Lions, who didn't even make it out of the play-in stage. This would be different if this was like a guy who's been dominating the LEC. He's won a bunch of championships, and he's showing like, yeah, if you want to be the best player, you have to have this competitive drive, you have to have this attitude, whatever. I would argue that whatever Odoamne is doing is not something that people would even want to replicate. You know, again, this is a team who lost to a team that couldn't even make it out of play-ins, and TSM, the team that won North America, they beat Team Liquid, who pretty easily made it out of play-ins. They beat FlyQuest, who was also the 2 seed from North America. These are teams that overall did better than the teams that Schalke couldn't even beat. So again, a weird opinion to be thrown out. This would be different if this was like Caps or Perks or somebody else saying that. But when I look at the top LEC team, it is a team that I could see laughing and giggling after something bad happening. You know, the personalities of Yankos and Wonder and Mickey and all those guys, they don't have this attitude of Odoamne. Yes, they are mad and upset after losses and stuff, but they're more likely the team to be trolling around, to be joking around, than Odoamne, who is a middle-of-the-pack LEC top laner on a middle-of-the-pack team who, except for a miracle run, which had such a tiny percentage chance of happening, they were going to finish towards the bottom of the LEC, and then still, after they got super hot, still finished 5th behind some teams who also did not do well at Worlds. So, just a weird person for this to be coming from. We have the responses from the NA talent. Dash tweets out, "Not going to stand here and let you take weak shots at players from my region. You have no right to dictate how any other player should respond in the moment to a loss and question their competitive drive. The idea that a smile or a giggle equals not caring is just lame." I completely agree with that. It doesn't even make sense. Again, these are human beings. They have lives to live. Yes, they are professional League of Legends players. Yes, that is their career. Yes, it does matter a ton. But they are still human beings. They're still going to laugh. They're still going to live. They're still going to giggle. They're still going to be joking with their friends. They're still going to enjoy their time in China. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for so many of them. It doesn't have to ruin your day. It doesn't have to ruin your life. You don't have to be miserable for the rest of your life. The sun is going to rise the next day. They're already knocked out of the tournament. There's nothing they can do. There's no going back in time. You may as well enjoy yourself a little bit. Odoamne responds with, "My wording is bad and I apologize. I'm not policing anyone. Just how you feel that their way of coping is fine. I feel like that way of coping does not work for me. In my eyes, shows some of the things I do not like. Everyone is free to do what they want. I do not have a PhD." So this would make way more sense if he said, "That's not how I respond, but they are free to do what they want." But that's not at all what his first tweet said. So it's weird that he's backtracking here. And then finally, the tweet I actually like the most. I'm not even a big fan of Phreak, but he actually had some banger tweets in reply to Odoamne. First up, he said, "LMAO, are we back on this one again? Fuck off with your toxic ass. If you aren't breaking your keyboard after a loss, you aren't competitive bullshit." I completely agree with that. That is a great tweet, a great response to them. Well played by Phreak. And then also, I love this. Phreak actually replied to Carlos R., who is the owner of G2, or, one of the owners of G2. I'm not sure if he's the only majority owner or whatever. I'm not exactly sure how it's set up, but he is the owner of G2, and he said, "As we can see here, Odoamne, G2 will never be a competitive team because the team tries to keep spirits up after a loss," as he replied to Carlos's tweet. "With all due respect, Joey, trying to keep good spirits right after a loss is very common default mechanism versus defeat. All our players work so fucking hard, and so do yours. Let's not be ridiculous here. You called them out on an interview, and then you got memed. That's all." So again, exactly like I said, G2 is one of the teams to be joking around, to be keeping their spirits high after a loss, because if you're just so miserable and get to such a dark place after losses, that could be really bad for your mental, and that could prevent you for some people for being able to sustain a career like this. If you get so defeated and so beat yourself up after losses and stuff, that could really, affect the longevity of your career, affect your quality of life, be just very negative in so many ways. So yeah, I just thought this was really weird. I think there's a lot of things you can critique TSM about. I think they're getting a lot of backlash from the community, and a lot of it is, deserved. A lot of it is rightfully so. They had the worst performance of a 1 seed ever at Worlds. They had the worst performance possibly for a North American team ever at Worlds. They were very disappointing. They are a talented team who did not show up. But for this to be something that people are trying to take stabs at the mat is absolutely ridiculous. It makes no sense, and I'm glad that Odoamne is getting some backlash about it, and hopefully he learned something from this whole situation. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you agree with Odoamne? Do you agree with Phreak, Dash, whoever? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to update on the latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys on the next one, but until then, peace.